You'll know when the data comes out because you'll see the speed across all ladders. This is why you group your ladders together like this. Getting thinner, there we go, data. So we traded all the way down to 0330. So here we go, we're starting to see it now stalling down at around about 83. Let's go and have a look. There's a couple of trades. The first one's the flick back. And what's crucial here is understanding the difference between the flick back trade and the pullback trade. Now the flick back, the whole move is probably about 10 seconds. Your aim is to try and get in after that first initial whip down, get in on a pullback. The hard bit with a trade like this is defining precisely where, but as it flicks back, as soon as it seems to stall, that's the place to sell, or it comes back to your original starting point, so that 042, which it was. Now, what he's looking for here is a continuation of movement. So the sort of red dashed line continuation through the lows. That's what he's looking for. Doesn't happen, and it comes back and he takes the scratch on the trade. Now, with a trade like this, what you've got to be thinking about, and this is often where people don't take trades on like this because it feels super fast. They feel quite out of control. Now, what's happened here is he's got himself a wonderful position. And when you've got this great position, he's got in on that pullback, really nice position to be sure. When you've got that, there now has to be a trade-off in your thinking about what you're going to do next. If you believe that this is going to be the beginning of a more significant down move, and looking at the data, personally, I'm not convinced it was, because you had contrary data, higher inflation on the wages, lower headline number. You either think this is going to go and play the continuation, in which case you don't get out when it pulls back on you again, when it starts this move up here, or you are of the view that this is pure scalp. Flick back, drop anywhere near the low. If it stalls down there, get out, bank your winner. It's a super quick, it's a reactive trade. You're playing the flick as your opportunity to get in. So that's the first one. So I actually think this is perfectly fine. It's come back, he scratched the trade. Arguably, if you're going to say you could improve this, I think it was a case of perhaps being a bit quicker to be getting out of the trade. But overall, I think fine. The pullback trade is the one that I think perhaps could have been improved here. So this was essentially the pullback. The S&P flicked down, flicked up, pulls back, and this was that area down around about 83. That was the zone that we sort of fell back down onto. Now, when you're playing a pullback trade, again, your objective is we're going to go and break the highs. But this is now a trade that is going to take more like 10 minutes, not 10 seconds. So part of the key to a trade like this is the ability to step back and go, okay, this has been really, really fast for the last minute and a half, 2 minutes. But now this is about playing back to the high. That's your scalp. And a lot of scalping nowadays is what I would call level to level trading, point to point. You're buying it down here, you're playing for the high. That's the objective. You get to the high, you get out of the trade. That's the way that you're going to try and approach it. And you'll see that. Here we go then. Two markets that we're looking at mainly here are going to be ZT, which is in the middle here, and S&P just here. These are the two that this trader is going to go and take on. First trade, we're going to be looking at ZT, and then second trade, we'll be looking at S&P. This one is your flick back trade. So what we get is we get the data. Watch the speed with which the market moves. This is the whole concept, that you can't beat the algos. Now, you can't beat the algos for speed. It's impossible. You're not going to get a chance to do that. But look how he deals with this. Note the price that we're starting off at, 04042. So let's get going on this. You'll know when the data comes out because you'll see the speed across all ladders. This is why you group your ladders together like this. So no data just yet. Still waiting on the data just to this point. It's getting thinner. There we go, data. So we traded all the way down to 0330, straight the way back up, and we stalled pretty much where we started. So this is your flick back. Got short, sold 50, taking it down to the low, and we're now starting to see a pullback. This, like I said, this is a scalp trade. This is about being really, really, really quick. I'm not going to go into why it moved so much on the data. Essentially, we're looking at the earnings here. but he gets straight back out. Essentially, this turns into a bit of a scratch trade. The S&P, he's now started to play towards the upside. So this is an attempt at a quick scalp towards the upside in the S&P. Always, whenever you're taking on scalps like this, there's two aspects here. So this is a slight sort of middle trade here, not one of the two main ones I'm talking about. One of the things he's looking at is correlation, but also where your stop can be. So just to, if I take this back very, very quickly, what he's looking at, if you watch his cursor here, the thing that he's looking at on this trade is the size that starts to appear. So once you get this large order, he's looking at that as his stop, essentially. This is his protection on the trade. So you'll see this just in a moment. So here we go. See that 500? As soon as that 500 traded through, his protection was gone out of the trade. So we've seen two trades now where one he's got in very quick and got out for roughly a scratch. One he's taken a loss on. And then as we continue onwards, what you're looking for now, so we're past that super fast stage. Yeah, this is about a minute or so just after the data now. When you're looking at this now, what we're seeing is the S&P is now starting to pull back. You don't need charts really for this. You're looking at the ladder. You don't know where this is going to pull back to, and the ladder's what's going to tell you. What you're looking for is the market to slow down, waiting for it to stall so you can then enter the position. So here we go. We're starting to see it now stalling down at around about 83. So the market, you see there again, every time it trades 83, when I say it stalls, it moves down. It doesn't feel like it's going any lower. So this is now, if you're watching this market, you're looking at that thinking, right, 83 is my support here. But 83 is support. We started to rotate back up. So he's gone, placed a bid to try and get in from 89, to try and sort of capture a bit of a bid up from this point. So he's still now waiting on this fill, but you've got to be thinking, okay, we've seen the low now. The plan on this trade is to try and play this back up through the high. So he's in the trade. It's quite comfortable sitting in this trade, waiting for this one to play out. You can see the cursor again, looking out for where his stop's going to be, making sure that, this is not going to run away from him. People often ask, well, why don't you just place stops? You don't want to place a stop when the market's fast in case you get flicked out. So you're using the cursor. You have to be disciplined. You know where your stop is. You use the cursor and you place it where you want your stop to be. But the idea of this trade is a straightforward move back to the highs. But it was the same trade again, essentially there. Use this 500 lot on the bid as effectively his protection. Market trades through it and he gets out of the trade.